Good morning, students. Welcome to online classes. Today we are going to study about reproduction in plants. Living things, that is plants and animals, produce more of their own kind through reproduction. That is, the ability of living things to produce their own kind is called reproduction. Plants also reproduce in different ways as all living things do. Most plants reproduce through seeds. However, there are some plants that reproduce through spores, example fern plant, and some through body parts like roots, example sweet potato, stem, example rose plant, and leaves, example aloe vera. In the previous lesson, we have learnt about pollination. The next and the most important step after pollination is fertilization. Now, what is fertilization? Fertilization is a step between pollination and seed formation. It is simply the process of fusion of male and female gamete to give rise to an embryo. Here, what is gamete? Gamete is a specialized cell which serves the function of reproduction. Thus, fertilization is the process when the male gamete fuses with the female gamete to form a zygote. Now let's know how fertilization takes place. When a pollen grains fall on the stigma of a flower, it bursts open and grows the pollen tube downward into the style of the flower towards the female gamete in the ovary. This pollen tube enters the ovule in the ovary, that is ovule present in the ovary. The pollen tube bursts, that is it opens, releasing the male gamete which moves downward the pollen tube and fuses with the female gamete. The male gamete of pollen combines with the nucleus of the female gamete in the ovule to form a fertilized egg called a zygote. Formation of seed and fruits. After fertilization, the two cells combine together to form the zygote. Once the zygote is formed, it divides repeatedly to form an embryo within the ovule. This ovule gradually develops a tough coat over it and is converted into a seed containing the baby plant. This process happens to all the ovules. After fertilization, they all get converted and turns into seeds. The ovary, in turn, develops into a fruit with seed inside it. The other parts of the flower, like the sepal, petals, stamen, stigma, and style, dry up and fall off. The fruit protects the seed inside it. Once the seeds are mature and ready to grow into new plants, the fruit also starts drying up. It falls off the plant or bursts open to allow the seeds to come out and grow into new plant. Dispersal of seeds, the process by which seeds are scattered away from their parent plant, is called seed dispersal. We have very important question here. How do seeds move? We know that plants produce large number of seeds, isn't it? Do all seeds germinate near the parent plant? No. If all the new plants grow near the parent plant, the soil they grow on would become too crowded. Also, there would not be enough space, air, water, and food for all of them to grow well. So, the seeds need to move away from their mother plant. So, they need to disperse. But we know that unlike animals, plants cannot move on its own. So, nature helps the seed to move away from the parent plants. Thus, this moving away of seeds from the mother plant is called seed dispersal. So, this is a very important step for any germination to begin or for seeds to grow into a new plant. Thus, dispersal play a very important part. Now, What helps the seed to move away from the parent plant to a different place to germinate? Of course, seeds do not have legs or wings. It is helped by some external agent to move away from parent plant to far away places. So now let's know about the agents of dispersal. We have four main agents of dispersal: wind, water, animal and explosion. Now all seeds that we see around us are not of the same kind. That is, their shapes are different, size are different, isn't it? So every seed around us have its own unique feature. Depending on these aspects, dispersing agents are different for different kind of seeds. First agent of dispersal is wind or air. Some seeds have special part which help them get carried away by the air. Seeds dispersed by wind have certain features, like seeds should be small in size. That is, smaller the seeds, it is easy for the wind to carry it away. Seeds has to be light in weight, like coriander. Seeds that have fine and long hair around them, example cotton, dandelion, etc., can be blown away by wind. Seeds that have wing-like structure on them, example drumstick, maple, etc., can also be carried away by air. Dispersal by water. The seeds of plant that grow in or near water are dispersed by water. The lotus has a spongy and light fruit which can float far away from the parent plant. Coconut has a thick fibrous outer covering with air trapped between its fiber. This helps it to float in water. Dispersal by animal. Animals, birds and even human also help to spread seeds. Some small seeds are eaten along with the fruit. These pass out unharmed as animal waste. Seeds which are not eaten are thrown away. Such seeds germinate in different places. When we eat the fruit, what we do with the seeds, like of mango, papaya, etc.? Obviously, we simply throw it away. Yes, this is the very important way of dispersal of seed. Some seeds have spikes or hooks which get stuck to the skin of animals, feathers of birds, or sometimes in our clothes, and thus in this way it is dispersed away from parent plant. Dispersal by explosion. When I say the word explosion, you can relate it with the bursting of crackers, right? So crackers burst with great force. So similar mechanism takes place here. Some fruits burst open with great force when they ripen. Because of this force, seeds are scattered away from the parent plant. For example, pea plant. Thus, in this way, seeds of different plants are dispersed by different agent of dispersal. Now, let's study about other ways of reproduction in plants. Vegetative reproduction. It is the process in which a new plant grows from a fragment of the parent plant, that is, from different parts of the plant. For example, stem, roots and leaves are used for vegetative reproduction. Reproduction from stem. Some stems like potato, ginger and turmeric are underground stems, that is, they grow inside the ground. Potatoes have eyes on it, which as we can see in the picture. Under proper conditions, each eye grows a bud which can become a new plant if it receives ideal growth condition. Other examples are onion and ginger. An onion bulb contains the stem and fleshy leaves, so new plants grow from stem. Some plants like rose and hibiscus are grown from stem cutting. A stem cutting is a length of stem with a bud which is planted in the soil. Reproduction from leaves. Plants such as bryophyllum reproduce through small bud like growths at the edge of their leaves. New plants grow from these buds and later they separate from parent plant. For example, bryophyllum, begonia, etc. Reproduction from spores. Some plants like ferns and mosses do not have flowers. They make spores. Each spore can grow into a new plant. Spores are very tiny and can be carried away with wind. The spores of a fern grows into a heart-shaped leaf. This develops into the main fern plant. Mushrooms also make spores. In this way, plants reproduce through its different parts. With this, we come to the end of the chapter. Thank you and have a nice day.